everyone. So finally we have reached to Unit 8 Voyage of Time. So from heading only we can understand voyage means what? Voyage means a journey of time. You know children, something you can't purchase with money, that is only and only time. Once the time leaps from your hand, absolutely, after spending so much money we cannot take it back. So learn the importance of time, utilize it in some good work so that you can earn loads of from your time devoted. The first lesson itself tells a very beautiful story of time. The clock goes tick tock. I'm going to explain you this lesson in detail, but first of all, let's go through the word meaning of this lesson. First word, accurate. Accurate means correct and true in every detail. Error-free work we are saying something which is errorless, that is known as accurate. Astonishingly means it's a adverb. Extremely surprising, difficult to believe. Extremely surprising, difficult to believe. Contraption, a machine or a piece of innovation equipment that looks strange, something new. Contraption. Crude, simple and not very accurate but giving a general idea. Crude. Devote, persons believing strongly in particular religion and observing its law and practices. Devote. Dilemma, a situation in which one has to make very difficult choice between things of equal importance. We can say a complete confusion. Folk, people in general, ordinary working class. Folk. Gaze, a long steady look at somebody. Gaze. Glanced, looked quickly. Glanced, looked quickly. Horloge. The French call a clock horloge, which has no bells but only indicates hours. Motionless. Motionless means not moving. Motionless. Pondered. Pondered means thought about something very deeply. When you are thinking something very deeply, it means you are pondering. Prompted. Prompted means made somebody decide to do something provoked. Prompted. Slumps. A song, a poem or prayer that praises God, especially one in the Bible. Regulate. To control the speed in a machine. Regulate. To control its speed. Thoroughly. Very much, completely, deeply or in detail. We can use many words for thoroughly. Ushered. Ushered means became the beginning of something new or made a new and fresh beginning. Became the beginning of something new. Ushered. Widened. Widened means became wider. Widened means became wider. Now let's begin the lesson. Unit 8 Voyage of Time. Section 1 The clock goes tick tock. You know children, who found clock for the very first time? He was Galileo. Galilei was an Italian scientist. Used the software in the class to read how during his younger days he observed the swing of the pendulum, which later prompted him to discover the laws of the pendulum. So let's begin the beautiful lesson. The clock goes tick tock. It was wintry morning in Pisa, Italy. You might be remember the Pisa Tower. It was a wintry means during the winter time. It was a wintry morning in Pisa, Italy in the 16th century. The story is taken from 16th century, so many years ago. A young student of 17 years sat motionless in the Pisa Cathedral. Cathedral means a church. He looked worried and unhappy and hardly glanced at the book of Psalms that lay in his hand. There was a religious song book in his hand, but he was not looking at it. What was the reason? He was in a dilemma. Dilemma means situation in which a person cannot decide what to do. He wanted to study mathematics, his first love. Galileo was loving mathematics a lot. Do you like mathematics? I think no. It is like tragedy for all of you, right? Whenever math subjects are there, somebody are enjoying mathematics and somebody are just getting just low marks only in mathematics. Not at all. Mathematics indeed an interesting subject. So mathematics was the first love for this young child. His father insisted him that he study medicine. He had little interest in subject, although he had already started studying in the University of Pisa. As he pondered over his problem, his gaze shifted to the high ceiling of the cathedral. You know that during 16th century, churches were built very high. Some repair work was being carried out there and a lantern swung. Swung is the past form of swing, to and fro, from here to there. He began to watch it with interest as it swung in wide arcs. Suddenly his eyes widened. The arcs were becoming smaller and smaller, but big or small, they seemed to take the same amount of time to swing. It was strange indeed. Actually, it is some scientific experiment, right? Many things were there in the church, but the thing which caught the attention of this young one, it was a lantern which was moving from here to there. Galileo, for that was the lad's name, sat up straight in excitement. He just got up. He just sat silently in excitement and felt his pulse. Its regular beat was his best timekeeper, and he began to time the lantern. He began to time the lantern's swing. He started counting how long it takes to go from one place to another side. He was right. The lantern always required the same amount of time to complete a swing, no matter how long the range of its swing. This is just general truth is there, beta. You can also not change, I can also not change, but it is scientifically right that whenever any pendulum type motion is there, it takes the similar time from one place to another and comes again. Galileo did the things thoroughly. He ran home in excitement to try his own experiment. He fixed one end of a string to the branch of a big tree in his garden. He hung an iron weight from its other end. He now pulled the string back and released. Release means make it free. He had made a simple pendulum. This was the beginning, right? When the people come to know that such kind of movement is also possible for any living or non-living things. Like the lantern in the church, he next replaced the iron weight with a much lighter wooden one. These two took the same amount of time to swing to and fro. To and fro means from here to there in a regular motion. Galileo thought hard because it was absolutely a question of his career. That is why he thought a little bit deep for this experiment. His experiment confirmed that the time taken for one swing remained the same regardless of the weight attached. First time lantern he saw in the church, then after an iron weight, and then after a light wooden stick. But every time the time taken by from one place to another direction, it was the same every time. So that is why here it is written regardless of the weight attached. However, The time taken for the pendulum to swing did vary according to the length of the string. As long you will keep the string, that much time will be taken for the motion. Galileo, who was later went to the study mathematics and become a famous scientist, a mathematician, had discovered the laws of the pendulum. This early experiment made him realize that the pendulum, which was a weight fixed to the rod or cord, could be used to regulate the movement of a clock once it was put in motion. After all, it has the astonishingly useful habit of swinging to and fro at the same speed according to its length. However, 7 decades means a period of 10 years. After 70 years passed before a Dutch scientist, Christian Huygens adopted Galileo's idea to build the first pendulum clock with a regulating movements. Galileo's remarkable discovery ushered in the era of accurate timekeeping. So somewhere behind our clock, the name was Galileo. Around the 13th century AD, the first mechanical clocks appeared in monasteries in Europe and were operated by monks. Monks means sages. This early contraption did not have hands or a dial. They did not even strike the hour. They were used to alert somebody or to toll a bell that called monks to prayer. Their movements were simple and noisy, driven as they were by weights and wheels. Called turret clocks, these first clocks were nearly always placed on church or bell towers so that everybody could see or at least hear them in the town. However, despite their crude working, they managed to work for many years, although they did not always tell the correct time. You know, children, how people were knowing the time in history or in ancient time? They were following the sun position. When the sun is over the head, it is known as afternoon time. When the sun was setting down, that means evening time, they were ready for the dinner. And after, during night time, when there was no light, that time they were using lantern or candles or so, something diyas or so, right? There was no facility of power that time, electricity that time. So all what they were doing, they were following just the sun morning till evening. Okay, and according to that only they were setting their timetable of work. The word clock or clock, as it was called in Middle English, goes back to this time. It was taken from the French word clock, which means a bell. Bells were therefore associated with clocks in those early days of mechanical timekeeping. In fact, even before mechanical clocks existed, churches and monasteries rang bell to tell the common folk people that it was a time for prayers. They were not having watches or clocks like you, and that is why they were all following the bells ringing from the church. The devout religious people would stop all their activities to say their prayers. Till now, in nowadays also it is happening. When there is a namaz time, right? So a certain kind of announcement is done from the mosque, and then after all Muslim peoples just setting themselves, they are leaving their work and they are offering namaz evening as well as in the morning. Some of these prayers for which bells were rung were called sects and nuns. These terms were taken from Latin and meant the 6th hour and the 9th hour when prayers were said. So the ringing of prayer bells also indicated the time. Even when mechanical clocks with dials and hour hands were made, they struck the hours and were used in the same way as prayer bells. So it is little wonder that old timekeepers were called clocks and clocks. The French themselves, strangely enough, call a clock horlock, which has nothing to do with bells but indicates hours. From the beginning, these clocks were designed to tell the time by dividing the day into 24 equal hours. Here, can I ask you one question? Why our day is of 24 hours only? Why it is not of 40 hours or 30 hours? You are science students, right? You might be knowing the reason. You know that to complete one rotation, the earth takes 23 and half hours. If I am not wrong, I think it is almost 24 hours, and that is why our day and night combination, that means one day is equal to 24 hours. This was based on the ancient Egyptian time. Division of one day. The hours were further divided into two lots of 12 hours, each for every day, that is 12 hours and of daytime and 12 hours of night time. However, we really don't know why the divisions fell in the middle of the day and the night falling afternoon and after midnight. We really don't know. People had further divided each hour into 60 minutes and each 60 minutes into, yes, that's true, 60 seconds. The figure 60 was probably taken from the ancient Babylonian counting system, which used 60 in much the same way as we use 10. However, the earlier mechanical clocks did not bother about marking smaller division for some minutes on their dials or using a minute hand. This was just as well, considering that they were not very accurate anyway. A beautiful lesson written by Nita Barry. Okay, I hope that now you understood the importance of clock, time, I mean to say, and you will utilize your time in a good way. Thank you so much.